The sky was red. Smoke covered the battlefield like a heavy blanket. Explosions shook the ground every few seconds. Human soldier Jack Taylor ran through the broken metal and burning machines, searching for survivors. His team was gone. The mission had failed. He had been sent with a squad of 10 to rescue human engineers stuck on the alien planet Volturna. But it was a trap. The enemy had used false signals to lure them in. Now Jack was the only one left. As he moved through the ruined battlefield, something caught his ear, a sound. Not human. Not machine. It was a growl. Jack raised his rifle, stepping carefully over cracked stone. The growl came again, weaker this time. It sounded more like a wounded animal than a threat. He followed the sound and found a broken metal wall, half buried in the dirt. Behind it, someone was trapped. Jack pulled the metal aside and froze. It wasn't a human. Lying in the dirt was an alien woman, tall, muscular, and covered in silver fur. Her sharp ears twitched. Her glowing blue eyes narrowed at him. She looked like a mix between a wolf and a human. A long cut ran down her leg, and her arm was twisted in a strange way. She tried to sit up, but pain stopped her. Her voice was a low growl. "Back off, human." Jack lowered his rifle. "Easy, I'm not here to hurt you. I don't need your help. You're bleeding. Can't walk. What are you going to do? Die here?" She bared her teeth. "Better than being touched by your kind," Jack sighed. "Suit yourself." He turned to walk away. Then he heard her whisper, "Wait." He looked back. Her eyes were softer now. The growl in her voice was gone. "I can't move," she said. "My leg, it's broken." Jack nodded. He walked over and crouched beside her. "What's your name?" he asked. She didn't answer. He looked at her badge. The writing was alien, but the sound chip read it aloud in English. "Soldier Kira of the Ulari Pack." "All right, Kira. I'm Jack. I'm going to lift you now, all right?" She didn't respond. He gently put his arms under her back and legs. She tensed but didn't stop him. She was heavy, strong. But he carried her anyway. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. "Because I'm not like the others." As he carried her across the destroyed ground, Kira stared at him. Her breathing slowed. Her hand gripped his shirt like she didn't want to fall. "You smell strange," she whispered. "Like fate." Then her eyes rolled back and she fainted in his arms. Jack reached the edge of the battlefield just before nightfall. His small emergency pod was hidden under rocks nearby. He opened it with one hand while still holding Kira. Inside, the space was small but safe. He laid her down gently on the padded floor. She was burning up. Her body was hot, too hot for a normal fever. Jack pulled a cooling pack from the medical box and placed it on her forehead. She didn't wake up, but her breathing eased. He sat beside her, his back to the wall, watching the door. Outside, the alien jungle was alive with strange sounds. He knew the enemy would be searching soon. He would have to move before sunrise, but his eyes kept going back to the alien woman. Who was she? Why had she been left behind? Her kind and humans were not friends. The Ulari packs were known to be proud warriors, cold and dangerous. Some even said they ate the hearts of their enemies. But this one, Kira, didn't feel like a monster. She had looked at him, not with hate, but with pain and fear. Jack didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing. He had made a choice. He had saved an alien warrior, and that choice would change his life forever. Jack woke up to a low growl. Not from outside. From inside the pod. He opened his eyes slowly, careful not to move too fast. A shadow stood over him, tall, breathing heavily, silver fur glinting under the soft emergency lights. It was her. Kira. She was awake. And not happy. Her glowing blue eyes stared down at him with sharp anger. Her claws were out. Her tail flicked behind her like a whip ready to strike. "You touched me," she growled. Jack slowly sat up, hands raised. "You were bleeding." I saved your life. You carried me here like a pup. You were going to die. I am not weak, Jack stayed calm. Never said you were. But you were alone. And hurt. I don't leave people or wolves to die. Her ears twitched at the word, wolves. She looked around the pod, confused. Where are we, my emergency shelter? Hidden near the mountains. Kira staggered a bit. Her injured leg trembled. Jack moved to help her. She hissed, "Don't touch me." Then her balance gave out and she collapsed forward, right into his chest. Jack caught her gently. Her fur was warm, her body strong, but he felt her shaking. Not from pain, from confusion. She looked up at him, stunned. "I don't understand. Why would you care?" Jack helped her sit down against the wall. "Because I've seen too much death. I don't want to see more." They sat in silence for a moment. The jungle sounds outside made the walls tremble. Strange howls echoed in the distance. "I should have died in battle," Kira muttered. "Well, you didn't. You lived. You're safe now." "No warrior wants to be carried like a broken cub," she whispered, eyes distant. Jack shrugged. "Maybe not. But I don't follow rules like everyone else." She looked at him with new eyes, less anger, more curiosity. "You're strange, human. You're not the first to say that." Later that night, a storm began outside. Kira had fallen asleep again, breathing deeply, wrapped in a thermal blanket Jack had given her. Her ears twitched with every sound. She didn't snore, but sometimes she growled softly in her sleep. Jack sat by the door, staring out the small window. Rain hit the pod like drumbeats. Then he heard something unexpected. A soft whimper. He turned. Kira was shaking in her sleep, her claws twitching, her teeth clenched. "Don't. Leave me alone." Nightmare. Jack moved slowly and placed a hand on her arm. Her eyes snapped open. She looked ready to kill, but then she saw it was Jack. Her hand dropped. "I didn't mean to make noise," she said, embarrassed. "Sleep is weakness." Jack gave her a tired smile. "Nah, it's human too." Kira sat up slowly, wrapping the blanket tighter. "Back home, we never showed fear, even in dreams. What are you afraid of?" He asked. She looked away. "My pack left me. After I was injured." Jack's chest tightened. "They abandoned you? In our world, only the strong are kept. The weak are left behind. It is the way." "Well," Jack said, "that's a terrible way." Kira looked at him again. Her voice was low. "You're not like others. You smell different, like calm." Jack raised a brow. "Calm has a smell?" She leaned close. "To my kind, yes." Then she did something unexpected. She curled beside him. Not touching, but close. Her tail wrapped around her own legs like she was guarding herself. "You're warm," she said simply. Jack chuckled. "So I've been told." A moment passed. Then Kira whispered something he never expected to hear. "I dreamed you carried me through fire, and I followed you." Jack didn't know what to say. So he said nothing, and they sat in silence, the human and the alien warrior inside a small pod. In the middle of a deadly world, outside, the rain kept falling. Inside, something new was beginning. Trust. Maybe more. Asterisk. Kira stood outside the pod for the first time, the rising sun casting golden light across her silver fur. Her injured leg still shook slightly, but she refused to show weakness. Jack watched her from behind, arms crossed. "I told you not to push yourself yet," he said. She didn't look at him. "A broken paw must still learn to hunt." "You're not a paw," Jack replied. "You're a person." That made her turn. Her ears flicked back. "You call me a person, even after what I am?" "You're not a thing, Kira," he said. Firmly, "Not to me." She stared at him for a long time. The wind moved her fur like soft waves. Her tail flicked once. Then, without a word, she turned back toward the trees. But something in her chest was different now, a strange warmth. Not pain, not rage, something unfamiliar. They spent the next 3 days hiding in the forest valley, away from the enemy patrols. Each day, Kira trained. She limped, fell, and growled in frustration, but got back up again. Jack made a crutch from alien wood. Kira hated it, until she secretly began using it when he wasn't watching. Jack cooked meals. Kira refused human food at first until her stomach growled so loud, even the birds flew away. She sniffed the dried meat Jack handed her. It smells dead. He grinned. It is dead. She tasted it. Chewed. Swallowed. And blinked in shock. This is good. I know, Jack said with a wink. I'm not just a soldier. I can cook too. Kira stared at him. You are strange. And you're the first alien who hasn't tried to kill me, Jack replied. So I guess we're even. That night, Kira sat close to the fire. Jack noticed her ears were relaxed. Her shoulders weren't so tense. He took out a small metal sphere and rolled it between his fingers. What's that? Kira asked. A memory orb, he said. It stores old messages from Earth. He pressed the button. A soft glow lit up. A tiny image of a young girl appeared laughing and spinning in a garden. My niece, Jack said, voice soft. She's 10 now. I haven't seen her in years. Kira watched in silence. Why did you leave her? She finally asked. I didn't leave, Jack answered. I was sent. War took me away. She looked at the fire. War takes everything. There was silence between them. Then Jack asked, what about you? Any family? Kira's face darkened. No one now. My pack left me. I was a failure. You're not a failure. To them I am. Well, Jack said, poking the fire. They're wrong. She looked at him sharply. Why do you say that? Because you're still standing. You're still fighting. That's not failure, Kira. That's strength. Kira's voice dropped to a whisper. No one has ever said that to me. And then slowly, she moved closer, not by much, just enough to sit beside him. Their shoulders brushed. But this time, she didn't move away. Later that night, Kira dreamed again. She ran through fire, her legs burning, her pack fading in the smoke. But this time, Jack was ahead of her, reaching out his hand. When she woke up, her heart was racing. She looked to her side. Jack was asleep, his back to the tree, snoring lightly. Without thinking, she reached out and touched his hand. Warm, steady, safe, something. Inside her chest fluttered, not fear, not instinct. Something else. The next morning, Kira caught Jack watching her stretch. What? She asked. Nothing, just thinking, he said. Thinking what? Jack scratched the back of his head. That may be. Enemies aren't always enemies. Kira tilted her head. And what are we then? Jack met her eyes. Something more. She didn't answer, but her ears didn't flick back this time. She just smiled. Soft and small but real. Asterisk, it started with her eyes. One night, as the moonlight slipped through the trees, Jack noticed something different. Kira's eyes were brighter, sharper. Not just glowing with their usual alien blue hue, but flickering like fireflies in water. He didn't say anything at first, but the next day, her fur shimmered too, only slightly, as if her body was catching the sunlight differently, like it was alive with energy. Jack finally asked, Kira, do you feel okay? She looked at him while chewing on a piece of smoked meat. Why, do I look ugly now? No, you look brighter. She raised a brow. Is that a human insult? He smirked. No, you're literally glowing. Kira looked down at her arms. The silver fur along her skin shimmered under the sun. Not sweat, not oil. It was something else. She narrowed her eyes. This is not normal. Later that evening, Kira sat near the river, staring at her reflection. Her tail moved nervously. She touched her cheek. The glow was real, and it was spreading. She growled softly. Her heart beat faster than normal. Her body was warmer, stronger, But something inside her felt different. Not just physical, something emotional. She thought of Jack, and her chest tightened in a strange way. She splashed the water and stood up. No, this couldn't be what she feared. It was too soon, too fast, too impossible. Jack arrived with firewood. She turned quickly. Stay away. He paused. Why? What's going on? I don't know, she said. My body, it's changing. Jack set the wood down carefully. Is it a sickness? No, not sickness. Her voice was low now, almost shaking. Jack moved closer. Then what? Kira hesitated. Then finally whispered, when my kind bonds too deeply, our bodies respond. Respond how? Kira didn't answer right away. She stepped back, curling her arms over her chest. Our instincts awaken, she said. Ancient ones. Hidden ones. Jack frowned. What instincts? She looked straight at him. Reproduction. Mating. Life creation. Jack blinked. Wait, are you sane? I don't know. She snapped. Your kind, my kind, it should not be possible. But something is happening. My heart races when I see you. My body is glowing. My dreams are filled with pups. Jack took a step back, speechless. Pups? This had to be a mistake. He hadn't, nothing physical had happened between them. Had it? Kira's breathing grew heavy. I can feel it inside me, she said. A change, a pull, and you are part of it. Jack rubbed the back of his neck. So, what do we do? She shook her head. I don't know. But we must find a medic, or a healer, or someone who understands this. And if we don't? Kira stared at the moon, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. Then something new will be born into this galaxy. And I do not know if it will be a miracle or a mistake. The next morning, Jack searched the emergency tablet for anything about Ulari biology. The screen flickered, showing notes gathered from past missions. There was one strange report. Ulari. Females exposed to intense emotional bonding may trigger reproductive metamorphosis, even without traditional contact. Jack read it twice. Then again. His heart pounded. He looked over at Kira. She was sharpening a spear. Her muscles flexed with ease now. Her wounds were gone. Her eyes glowed softly in the light. She was becoming something else, something powerful. And somehow he was part of it. That night as they sat by the fire in silence, Jack finally asked, Kira, if this is real, do you regret it? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, I should. You are not my kind. You are not my blood. You are not my future. She looked at him, her voice gentle now. But when I close my eyes, all I see is you, carrying me through fire, feeding me, staying with me, even when I told you to leave. Her hand rested on her stomach. I don't know how, she whispered. But I think I'm carrying your pups. Jack's breath caught in his chest. This wasn't a war story anymore. It was something else now. Something deeper. And far more dangerous. Asterisk. Jack stared at Kira. He wasn't breathing. She had just said the words. No human, no soldier, expected to hear from an alien warrior. I think I'm carrying your pups. The fire between them cracked softly. The forest around them was quiet. Not even the wind dared to interrupt the silence. Jack finally spoke. But we didn't, how could that happen? We didn't even. Kira's voice was calm, but her eyes were burning with something wild. You didn't touch me like your kind does, but my kind is different. She paused, then placed a hand over her stomach. When an Ulari bonds with someone deeply, mind, body, spirit, our instincts awaken. If the bond is strong enough, life begins. Jack was stunned. He wasn't sure if he should laugh, cry, or run. Are you telling me emotional bonding made you pregnant? Kira nodded. Impossible, Jack whispered. I agree, Kira replied. Yet here we are. Later that night, Jack couldn't sleep. He sat alone outside the tent they had built from broken pod parts. Kira rested inside, her breathing soft and steady. She looked peaceful. Almost gentle, a strange word for a warrior like her. Jack stared at the stars. His fingers trembled. He had faced death, fire, alien monsters, but nothing had shaken him like this. He might be a father. To what? A half-human, half-wolf pup? A creature not meant to exist. His thoughts were interrupted by a soft beep. The emergency tablet had finished translating the old alien medical file he found earlier. He read slowly, every word hitting him like a brick. Ulari F-type soldiers, if bonded to an emotionally compatible host species, may activate dormant genetic pathways, allowing cross-species fusion. Reproduction possible without standard mating. Results unpredictable, not advised. Jack stared at the screen. Unpredictable, not advised? He looked back at the tent. Was this why the Ulari abandoned her? Did they know? And if they found out she was carrying something new, would they try to take it? Or kill it? The next morning, Kira was quiet. She didn't growl, didn't argue. She just sat near the fire, rubbing her stomach slowly. Jack brought her water. She took it, nodding. No words. That scared him more than anything. Are you okay? He asked. She looked up slowly. I can feel them, she said. Small heartbeats. 2 of them. Jack sat down beside her. Twins? She nodded. I don't know how to protect them, she said. Her voice cracked just a little. I was trained to fight, not raise life. Jack was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, you don't have to do it alone. She turned to him. You still want to help me? Even now? Even after this? Jack didn't look away. Yes, I made my choice the day I carried you out of that battlefield. Whatever's inside you, it's part of both of us now. Kira blinked. Her sharp warrior eyes softened. I never asked for this, she whispered. Jack smiled sadly. Neither did I, but maybe this was meant to happen. Hours later, a small drone buzzed in the sky. Jack spotted it first. His blood turned cold. It had a logo, Earth Coalition Medical Division. He cursed. That's a retrieval drone, he said. They've been scanning for signs of life. Kira stood fast, her glow brighter than ever now. They're coming for me, she said. No, Jack replied. They're coming for them. He grabbed his bag, stuffed the tablet inside, and slung his rifle across his shoulder. We have to move, now. Kira nodded once. Her body was strong again. She walked with no limp. No pain. Just purpose. And fear. That night, under a glowing sky filled with stars, they ran into the dark forest. 2 fugitives, a human, an alien warrior, and 2 unborn lives that should never have existed. As Kira ran beside him, she whispered something to herself, not in English, not in her language, but something ancient. A promise. To protect what was now hers. At all costs. Rain slammed through the forest canopy. Mud splashed beneath each step. Jack's lungs burned. Branches whipped across his face. But he didn't stop. Behind him, Kira was silent but fast, too fast for someone who had been injured. Just days ago, she wasn't limping anymore. She was running like a predator, a protector, a mother, and Jack. He was running like someone with everything to lose, because he was. The first attack came at dawn. A flash of blue light. The tree beside Jack exploded. He dove to the ground, rolled, and came up with his rifle ready. Above them, a sleek silver drone hovered, targeting again. Before Jack could fire, Kira leapt from a boulder and slammed her spear through its metal eye. The drone sparked, spun, and crashed into the rocks below. Jack stared. She was glowing again, fiercer now. Her fur shimmered like armor. Her eyes were wild with energy. That was a scout, she said, breathing hard. More will come. Jack nodded. Then we keep moving. They ran again through vines, over cliffs, Across rivers. The map on Jack's cracked tablet showed an old research station in the cliffs, hidden, abandoned, maybe still working. Was their only chance. By nightfall, they reached the ridge, but the station wasn't abandoned. It was occupied. 3 Earth Coalition soldiers stood guard outside the metal doors. Their rifles glowed, and worse. Behind them, in a locked cage, sat something strange. A pod. Medical. Sealed. Ready for something. Jack whispered. They were expecting us. Kira's voice was low, almost shaking with anger. They want to take the pups. Jack glanced at her stomach. She had started showing. Slightly rounded. Glowing. Alive. He gritted his teeth. Not happening. They waited until the moon was high. Then they struck. Kira moved first, silent, deadly. She used the shadows. Her claws sliced through the first guard's weapon. Jack stunned the second with an electric dart. The third raised his gun too slow. Kira growled and tackled him, pinning him down with one foot. She pressed her claws to his throat. Why are you here? She asked. The soldier trembled. Orders, said the hybrid must be taken alive. Or destroyed if unstable. Kira's eyes blazed. They call my children unstable? Jack stepped forward. Let him go. He's not worth it. Kira growled low, then let the man go. He crawled away like a worm in the mud. Jack opened the door. Inside, dust filled the air. Dead screens blinked slowly. Old tech buzzed. The smell of chemicals stung the nose. They found an old med-pod. Kira sat inside while Jack scanned her belly with weak sensors. The results were unclear, but one thing blinked red. Unregistered lifeform detected. Class unknown. Warning, evolving. Jack backed away from the screen. Evolving? He whispered. Kira sat still, her hand resting over her stomach. I can feel them growing stronger. Not faster, but different. Jack looked at her. She was no longer just a warrior. She was becoming something else. Something more. Suddenly, the station lights flickered. A deep humming noise echoed in the walls. Jack ran to the window. 5 enemy ships, black, silent, landing. Fast, we've been tracked, he said. Kira stood slowly. She didn't look scared. She looked ready. Her voice was cold and powerful. Let them come. Jack blinked. Kira, there are too many. She looked at him, her eyes shining with both fury and peace. I will protect my pups, even if I must become a monster. Jack stepped forward and took her hand. You won't fight alone. Their fingers locked human skin and alien claw. Different worlds, one heartbeat. Outside, the enemy prepared their weapons. Inside, life was preparing to fight for itself. And in the middle of it all, a human and an alien stood side by side, not as enemies. Not even as lovers, but as something brand new, something the galaxy had never seen before. Asterisk. Asterisk. Thunder rolled across the sky. Wind howled through the broken walls of the cliffside station. Jack stood with his rifle aimed at the door, heart pounding. The walls shook with the sound of heavy boots. Soldiers were coming, fast, trained, armed. Just 10 feet behind him, Kira was on her knees, claws digging into the floor, body glowing like a furnace. It had begun. She was going into labor. Kira's breath came in short, sharp growls. Her body trembled with every wave of pain. But her eyes stayed locked on Jack. Don't leave me, she said through clenched teeth. Never, Jack answered, rushing to her side. He knelt beside her, wiping sweat from her brow. What do I do? Tell me. Kira gripped his hand tight. Just stay. I don't need a doctor. I need you. Outside, the soldiers shouted orders. Inside, time slowed. This was no longer about war. It was about survival. It was about life. The first blast hit the front. Wall. Stone cracked. Metal bent. Jack aimed his rifle. They're coming in. Kira didn't. Flinched. Her body glowed brighter silver fur, now almost white, like starlight. Energy pulsed from her skin. Another blast. Then dash silence. The enemy stood outside the shattered doorway. Frozen. They didn't move, didn't speak. They just stared at the scene before them. A glowing alien female, giving birth on the stone floor. A human male kneeling beside her, protecting her with his own body. And in that moment, even trained soldiers forgot how to breathe. A sharp cry pierced the air. Then another. Two tiny creatures emerged, glowing softly in the dim light. Their fur was silver like their mother's, but their eyes, when they opened, were human. Jack stared in awe. They were perfect. Kira looked down at them, tears in her glowing eyes. "My pups," she whispered. "They're beautiful." Jack held her hand. "They're alive. We did it." One of the soldiers stepped forward. "Stand down," Jack warned, raising his rifle, but the soldier didn't lift his weapon. Instead, he lowered it. "I was told to capture a threat," he said, quietly. "But this isn't a threat. This is a miracle." News of the hybrid birth spread fast. Within hours, ships arrived, but not to fight. Doctors, scientists, leaders, even Nulari, envoys, all came to see the impossible. The first human Nulari, offspring in galactic history. Some called it unnatural, some called it dangerous, but most called it hope. Kira sat under the trees, her newborn pups sleeping in her arms. Jack sat beside her, watching the stars. "You did it," he said. "No," she replied softly. "We did it." She looked at him, her voice low. "You're not just their father, Jack. You're my bond, my future." Jack smiled. "So what now?" Kira's tail wrapped gently around his leg. "Now," she whispered, "we teach the galaxy what family really means. Some say love is impossible between species. Some say nature has rules, but nature also makes exceptions. And sometimes, the strongest force in the universe is when two broken souls choose each other and create something brand new. Together. Forever."